Are your calls to action helping your customers buy more from you or helping drive your customers to competition? How do you get more clicks from your customers? In this video, I'm going to show you 9 street smart practical call to action marketing strategies. And then at the end, I'm going to show you a bonus tip of how you put all these together to get real results so they don't remain just a pile of theory. Welcome to my channel. I'm Luke Vittoris. Thanks for stopping by. If you're brand new here or you want weekly street smart practical tips on how to fix your business minus any hype, then hit the subscribe button or the notification bell now. Call to action tip number 1. Define your purpose. When customers come to your website or your landing page, you need to be very clear on what you want your customers to do, because if you're not clear, how do you expect your customers to? So you would use words like this. Buy now. Do you want your customers to subscribe now? Do you want your customers to book an appointment with you? Is that your call to action? Do you want them to call you now? Or maybe you want them to start your free trial today. Be specific. Tell your customers exactly what you want them to do, and then they will do it. Tip number 2. Have a single call to action. You don't want to confuse your customers with too many options. Think of it like this. You're watching a school play, and on stage there's a spotlight on a young girl playing a piano. But next to her is a spotlight on a kid giving a magic show. Who do you focus on? Which kid do you focus on? You are now confused. The same applies to your website. Don't confuse your customers. Give them one single spotlight or focal point, your call to action. Tip number 3. Your call to action should stand out like dog's bollocks. This is a phrase my Irish partner used to use all the time on stage when presenting this topic. Your call to action must be loud and clear and stand out. Now, ways you can do this are: use contrasting colors so they really stand out. Use easy to read fonts, no cursive or swirly stuff that people just can't read at an instant. Make it bold and use a call out button so your call to action really stands out on the page. Tip number 4, use words of urgency. Your call to action should be concise and contain dynamic words or words of urgency. If I was describing a tornado to you and I said the storm was wild and wet and the lightning was noisy and loud, or I said the tornado was fierce, which one would have a bigger impact on you? The shorter one that contains the dynamic words. Your call to action should be exactly the same. Here are some examples. 5 only. Limited time. Call now. Join my list. Grab my free ebook. Secure your spot today. Tip number 5. Make your customers feel secure. I think a lot of people miss this one, and it's a massive opportunity. You want to make your customers feel secure. You want to remove any barriers stopping them from taking your call to action step. So what I suggest you do is underneath your call to action, underneath your call to action button, underneath your call to action big dynamic words, you have 1 or 2 words that take away your customers' fears or barriers or whatever the reason is preventing them from clicking on the button. So here are some examples. No spam, 100% safe. We don't do anything with your email. So if you're asking someone to opt in, what is their fear? That you're going to take the email and sell it or spam you or whatever. Take away that fear by telling them underneath why you won't do that, why you will make them feel secure. Or no risk, free trial. Free, no risk. 30-day guarantee or ironclad guarantee or money back guarantee. If you ask them for money, what is their fear? They're not going to like it. You're going to take their money and run. So make them feel secure that you're not going to do that. Cancel anytime. People don't like to feel like they're trapped into something. I mean, that's one of the biggest fears. Take that away. Speak to a live person. I think this is a big one. A lot of fear of people is if they ever want support or they're stuck, they have to talk through a keyboard to some robot automated thing, or you go to some thread forum where no one really helps you. But if you say a live person, if that's your niche or your market, that could be a great way of getting people over their barrier and getting them to click your call to action. Tip number 6, use arrows. So in the real world, or in this video, I'm pointing, I'm saying subscribe now, click the notification bell. My fingers are my arrows. I'm telling you exactly where I want you to click and what I want you to do. So in your landing page on your website, you would use an arrow to represent my fingers. You're telling your customer exactly where you want them to click. And the way you can do this is 2 things. Use a big red arrow or an orange arrow to your call to action box or button. Or you can have a person pointing, yourself or someone else, saying, this is exactly where I want you to click. This is very, very effective. Tip number 7, use graphic visuals. So words tell, but pictures sell. So let me give you an example. Let's say your call to action is a free ebook. What would be more appealing to you? The words, grab your free 11 strategies to outsmart competition, or an ebook visual like you see, 11 strategies to outsmart your competition. Which would you choose? The visuals win all the time, so use visuals, not words. Tip number 8, make your next step consistent. I think a lot of people get this wrong. Let's say you have a Google advert and your advert or your Google search term is how to grow roses in winter. This is what you want to find out. And you click on how to grow roses in winter and you land up on a page that says how to feed your horse. You're not going to be very impressed. You're going to be frustrated and angry. And you do not want your customers having that experience. So whatever the words are for your call to action, when someone clicks on their call to action, wherever they go to next must be absolutely consistent with what you told them they're getting. So if you told them, grab my free roses, how to grow roses in winter ebook, when you go to the next page or landing page or wherever you're taking them, your first heading should match exactly what the call to action should be. So it should say, my free roses, how to grow roses in winter ebook. This way your flow is consistent and it keeps your customers not frustrated. Tip number 9, make a swipe file. I've been doing this for many years and it's very, very effective. Every time I'm on an email or some call to action, whatever it is, grabs my attention, I take a screenshot of that and I put it in a folder called a swipe file on my computer. And every time I'm doing copywriting or designing my web pages or landing pages, my emails, my marketing, whatever it is, I go immediately to that swipe file. And I look at all the headings or call to actions that caught my attention. Now I know these work because they caught my attention. They attracted me compared to all the other people trying to grab my attention. So I know these ones work and the chances are they will work very well for my customers. This is a great time saver and it's very effective. You're using stuff that's proven. So the final tip, the bonus tip for this video is how do you bring all of this together so that you're taking the lessons and actually putting them into practical use in real life in your business. It's not just a pile of theory. When they designed the first rocket to go to the moon, do you think that the first time they launched that rocket everything worked? Of course not. They had to test and measure. So this is the bonus tip to make killer call to actions. You take all the 9 tips that I've given you today and you need to test and measure each and every one, and you continue to do so. So for example, if you wanted to test an orange call to action button versus a green one versus a blue one, you would test and measure that one particular step and see how it performs or doesn't perform over the next few weeks. And if you do this process consistently through all these 9 tips I've given you, after a few weeks or a few months, you will work out what are the killer calls to actions that work for your business and your customers. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, please like this video and put a comment below. Let me know what you liked and what you'd like to hear more tips about so that I can prepare them for you. That's it. Thanks again. See you soon.